Hello, hello, hello. This is take number 3 of a video. I do like the other takes, but one of them was a bit long. Had a lot to say. Waffled on a little bit. But more importantly, I guess today I was having a bit of a chat with a colleague of mine. We were talking about some leaders, previous leaders that we look up to and admire, and the difference between good leaders that we've had and maybe not so good ones. And it really got me thinking, what was the difference between those really good leaders that I gravitated towards, that helped expand my mind, and those that, I haven't really gelled with, so to speak. And the funny thing it came back down to was the good leaders were 100% clear on what they were wanting. They provided a platform for everybody to be trained, educated, upskilled, whatever word you want to use. They provided you with the backing to go and make those decisions that needed to be made within guardrails, obviously. And then they acknowledged the work that you did, the less tangible work that you did. And all day I've been thinking about that. It's just been mulling over in my brain. It's been doing things and whatnot. And I mentioned before, but I'm reading this really cool book, Why Motivated People Doesn't Work and What Does. And for me, the book represents, and apologies if this offends anybody, but it's kind of the best descriptive words that I think I can use right now. The book for me encompasses the thoughts that I've had around, are we watching the final breaths, final heartbeats, the final brain firing of a system or body that's dying at the moment? Is the world feeling chaotic politically, socially, environmentally? Well, environmentally is human, so that's separate, but because we are watching the system, as it is the system, taking its last breath, its last couple of heartbeats, or its last firing of brain synapses, and as that system clinging on for dear life. And the book, I think, establishes a couple of ground rules, and I'm only a couple of 100 pages into it, but more importantly, I think the important things there is that it leans on carrot and stick doesn't work anymore. Actually, carrot and stick never really did work. It doesn't drive fundamental behavioral change. And carrot and stick in the long run is actually more detrimental to a business than what, different ways of motivating people is. And got me thinking, for the last, since the 60s, 70s, 80s or 90s, whatever time frame you want to put on it, we've watched the system that has used a carrot and a stick approach, and now we're finding it less effective, scratching our heads going, why is that? I'm throwing money at bonuses. At the same time, the messages that I'm sending are job insecurity, redundancies, layoffs, the language that we use, costs, and then we use cost and people in the same sentence. The first programs to go when it comes to tough economic times are always the coaching and training one. Not always, but majority of the time, coaching and training ones. So what messages are we sending broadly out there to our people, to the universe, if you will, when we do those types of actions? And it's funny because there are three things that the book says every human has, and it's kind of alluding to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it was connection, choice, and competency. And if you deliver those 3 things to most people outside of money and things like that, then actually you not only get sustained change in both their performance, and I guess in turn your company's performance, your business's performance, but you get sustained behavioral change, which is the key, right? It talks about how short-term incentive programs don't work in the long run. You can't just offer someone, or you can just offer, cash, iPad, whatever you want to call it, but does that deliver you behavioral change? No, it doesn't. And so, I'm wondering if at the moment, and the more I think about this and the more I read and do research and things like that, the more I keep coming back to the same answer, which is a resounding yes. And at the moment, we are more multi-generational in our workforce than I think we've ever been before in history. You've got Gen Alpha, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, Baby Boomer, Millennial, apologies if I've forgotten anybody, all in the same environment right now, whereby what worked for one isn't working for the other. And I can see the dilemma that a lot of leaders have got around that, kind of scratching their head going, why isn't this working? Or why are we still having the same problem? Definition of insanity, by the way, comes to mind when I think about that. And so, I just wonder if at the moment what we're seeing both around the world and potentially even in our own backyard is that last breath, last heartbeat, or last firing of a brain synapses, of a system that is on its deathbed. I don't know. But I do love the thought process. I'll be honest with you. I love the thought process I'm in. I love the dynamics which I get challenged on day in and day out. I don't think my thinking process is complete. And as a few of you have already done, quite a few actually, chucked messages, given me points of view, agreed, disagreed, I've enjoyed that. So yeah, I just post this here as I continue to digest. Recommended read, by the way, really recommend it, which is high praise coming from me for a book. I can't help but wonder, it's not nice what we're seeing in the world at the moment, but is it there? Because it is the last grasp. Oopsie, that's the car. It's the last grasp of a dying system. So, food for thought. No final answer, nor should there be a final answer right now. I'm excited about the journey. I'm excited about the learnings. And what we can do with this edge of change, both technological and I think social change that we are currently facing. So yeah, that's today. No doubt I'll probably post something again talking about this, because as I said, my thought process hasn't finished. And as different messages come through and different people reach into me and we talk and debate and put different points of view on the table, it sparks a different thought. But the one thing I keep coming back to is change. It's inevitable. Well, obviously we all know that, but more importantly, I think at the moment it's an interesting way to be looking back or looking into different companies, different leaders, and watching what they do, watching their behaviors. I mean, words don't match actions. I think it's actually really obvious now. But I wonder if they're ignorant to that obviousness of it, because to acknowledge that it is different would be to acknowledge the death of a system that they know so well. Great thoughts, huh? Anyway, that's me. I'm home. Thank you for listening. Please drop into my DMs if you want, on LinkedIn or any other socials if you know what they are. You know. Or drop it into the website. There's comment section open. So happy to have any different thoughts around this stuff, because it helps me to kind of process and synthesize it all. So yeah, still don't know what the answers are. That's not a bad thing this time around. And for someone who's used to having all the answers, it's actually a bit exciting. Anyway, bye.